Well, what did you think of our kind, good-hearted, loving Jesus this morning? This may have been one of those times Jesus was just having a bad day in his humanity. Here's Jesus in Gentile territory, Tyre and Sidon, and here's this woman, a Canaanite, a pagan, an outsider, somebody who absolutely has no right by the standards of the day to even be talking to a Jewish rabbi. And yet, here she is, screaming after Jesus, "Lord, Son of David, have pity on me. My daughter's being tormented by a demon." And what does Jesus do? He ignores her. Silence, nothing. Then the disciples chime in, annoyed, and say, "Get rid of her, she's bothering us." And then Jesus says something that should make every single one of us sit up in these pews. He says, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." So what does she do? Just like the ever-ready bunny, she keeps on coming. She kneels down in front of him and says, "Lord, help me." And then what does Jesus say? It's not right to take the food of the children and throw it to the dogs. Can you imagine if you came into the church office and asked Father Len or Don or Jacob to come to your aid in a critical time when you needed a pastoral presence in your life, a time when you may be seeking compassion in your life for whatever reason, and they totally ignored you? If that happened to any of us, we'd storm off, probably write a letter to the bishop, leave the church maybe, post it online. Not this woman. She didn't flinch. Think about how shocking that statement is for a moment. Is Jesus basically calling this woman a dog? Before you lose your mind thinking what Jesus this is, look at what's happening here. Jesus isn't being cruel. Jesus is doing what he always does. He's revealing what's already in the human heart. He's giving this woman, and he's giving you and I, a chance to show what we're really made of. What amazes me about this story is she doesn't quit. She doesn't get offended and storm off. She doesn't say, "Well, forget this Savior." No, she kneels there and says, "Please, Lord, even the dogs eat the scraps that fall from the table of their masters." That, my Christ the King family, is faith. This is a woman who will not let go of Jesus even when Jesus seems silent, even when it looks like he doesn't care, even when everyone around her, including those guys who are supposed to be his closest friends and followers, tells her to get lost. And then Jesus looks at her. And I bet he was almost laughing with joy as he looked down at her and said, "Oh, woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish." And her daughter was healed at that very moment. This pagan woman, someone outside the covenant, someone disciples wanted gone, shows greater faith than most of the chosen people. Probably a greater faith than some of us in the church this morning. This isn't a nice little story about persistence. This is Jesus showing what real faith looks like. Faith that doesn't quit when God is silent. Faith that doesn't get offended when God appears to test us. Let me ask you something. How many of you have prayed for something, really prayed, begged God for something, and heard nothing back? Silence. And what did you do? Did you keep kneeling like that woman, or did you fold after round one? I know in my own life I prayed for things for years, and there were those long stretches where heaven felt like it was made of stone. But I never really stopped banging on the door. Sometimes things happened, and some things still haven't. Remember those classic words we heard Jesus say before: "Ask and you shall receive, seek you shall find, knock on the door and the door will be open." He doesn't say knock once and quit if nobody answers right away. The Canaanite woman is not in this Bible by accident. She's in this Bible so that every single person who has ever felt like an outsider, every person who has ever thought God doesn't have time for someone like me, every person who's been told by the world or even other Christians that they don't belong at the table, can look at her and say, that could be me. Because it is you. It is us. Isaiah told us today as well, "My house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples." Not some peoples, all peoples. Don't you dare give up on him. This week, whatever it is you have stopped praying for because you got tired, because it seemed hopeless, because God seemed silent, pick it back up. Get on your knees like that woman did. Whether it's after communion today, whether it's tonight before you go to bed, whenever. and ask him again. Don't argue with God about whether you deserve an answer. She didn't argue that she deserved it. She just knew he could do it, and she would not let go. That's real faith. That's a faith that says, Lord, I have nothing to offer, but I know who you are, and I'm not leaving you until you touch this. St. Paul in Romans is shouting the same thing today as well, telling us that God has mercy on all, Jew and Gentile. The gifts and the call of God are irrevocable. Nobody is outside the reach of his mercy if they will just come to him. He's not looking for a reason to slam the door on you. He's looking like he was with this woman, for someone who will not stop believing that he is good. But a lot of us may not be coming to him like that Canaanite woman. We come when it's convenient. We come when we feel like it. We come when the music's good or the homily isn't too long. We come with our list of demands. Lord, fix my marriage, fix my kids, my job, my health, and do it on my timetable. And when he's silent, when he seems to ignore us, when he allows the suffering to continue, we get mad. Sometimes we stop praying, we stop going to confession. We may even stop receiving him in the Eucharist with any real hunger. That is not faith, that is spiritual consumerism. Great faith looks like this woman. She knew she had no right. She knew she was an outsider. She knew she was asking for something that by human standards she didn't deserve, and she still came. She stayed. Still, she trusted that even the scraps from that master's table were enough to save her daughter. Do you trust that? Do you believe that one little crumb of his mercy might be enough to drive out any demon in your life? Demon of pornography, demon of anger, the demon of unforgiveness, demon of lukewarmness, the demon of, I'm a good enough Catholic. That's what this gospel is demanding of us today. Don't walk away when he doesn't answer you the way that you want. Don't be offended when the gospel confronts you. And don't treat Jesus like a vending machine. Get on your knees, cry out like that mother did, Lord, help me, and keep crying out until he answers. Because he will answer. He always does for those of us who have great faith. That woman got her miracle because she refused to leave without it. She clung to Jesus with everything that she had. What about you? Are you clinging or are you just visiting? So don't give up on Jesus Christ. He didn't give up on you. He died on a cross for you while you were still a sinner or still an outsider or still unworthy. And he did it anyway. If he did that, don't you think that he can handle whatever it is you're kneeling in front of him with today? Pray to him. Let him tell you, great is your faith, and I will do for you what you wish. And he will, because he loves you more than anything.